Hey team, today we are going to be focusing on the word problems. So I'm going to have you guys notate 6 and 7 before we go back to number 5. I think it'll make sense a little bit better. So in number 6 it says 3 times a number increased by 4 is less than negative 62. So the way that I want you to mark up your text is, first of all, if you see any numbers written out, just write them in number form ahead of time. It says 3 times a number, so I'm going to put a multiplication sign. A number, I don't know what that number is, so I'm going to put a variable. Increased by, so I think that's going to mean add. 4 is less than negative 62. So an easy way to write 3 times n increased by 4 is less than negative 62. Okay. Let's try that again for number 7. It says the quotient of, I know quotient means answer to a division problem. A number in 5 is increased by 1 is at most 7. So this one's a little bit tricky. We've seen division as a fraction, so I'm going to write it as a fraction. N divided by negative 5 is increased by 1, and this is at most 7. So if it means at most, that means that 7 is as big as it can get, right? So everything else must be less than that. So this must be less than 7 at most, or equal to, right? So 7 is as big as it can get, so it can equal 7, or it can be less than 7. All right, so now that we've got it kind of without context translating that expression, I want you to try it with context. So right here it says Tyler needs at least $205 for a new video game system, and he's already saved $30. So he already has 30 bucks, and that's a positive 30. He earns $7 an hour at his job. Do we know how many hours he works? No, so I'm going to put an H right there. Write and solve an inequality to find how many hours he will need to work to buy the system. So this just supports the fact that we needed a variable to find out what that is. So Tyler needs at least $205. So whatever we write has to be greater than or equal to 205. Can't be less than 205. This has to be greater than or equal to 205. He has already saved $30, so good. He's already got 30 bucks, but he needs some amount more. He makes $7 an hour, but we don't know how many hours he works. So this is how we could find out what the bare minimum amount of hours he can work. So if we solve it, we've got 30 plus 7h is greater than or equal to 205. Let's subtract 30 from this side. Let's subtract 30 from this side. I'm going to get 175. So 7h is greater than or equal to 175. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. I'm going to have to use long division for this. So h is greater than or equal to, let's see, 175 divided by 7. 7 goes into 17 2 times. 7 goes into 35 5 times. So 5 times 7 is 35, and I'm done. So 25 hours is how many more hours he needs to work in order to get his video game system. Not too bad. That's like half a week's work if he's a full-time employee. Interpretation. So I just interpreted it verbally, so I'll write down that interpretation as well. He needs to work at least 25 more hours to buy his game system. All right, y'all, hope that helps.